Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto Fused with Minato, Kushina, and Kurama. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, remember to stick around for the rest of what ifs coming your way over an Anime King 2, an Anime King. If you're new, yes, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Making 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. And also guys, remember to turn on that bell notification to stay posted, to see exactly when I post on each of one of my 3 channels, which I do every single night guys. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we leap right into this new episode? Start the intro. So a bit of recap from the last spot we left off. Naruto was tossed in a massive ocean. He fell off the bridge. Sakura's eyes went wide as Naruto fall, trying to stop the Hunter Nin, who appeared in front of Kakashi to take the lightning blade to the chest. Kakashi proceeded to kill Zabuza as he heard a scream. Rushing back, he saw Sakura looking over the bridge. First thing he moved towards was Sasuke as he thought that he was dead. However, he was just put in a state of unconsciousness. But that wasn't a big deal here. He saw Sakura looking over the edge. No, it can't be. Naruto's body was thrown. The water was violent as his head hit on a rock that was jutting out of the ground. Inside of his seal, the fox was angry. Because of his other half being sealed away, he cannot reform. So he will be dying with this damn brat. And for that he was pissed off to no end. That is when Minato and Kushina appear. The seal was failing. Minato held on to his wife, who was crying that she would never get to see her boy again. This cage melted away as Kurama saw the encroaching darkness. He roared. His chakra exploded outward, so did theirs, as it combined together and caused changes. Naruto's body was at the bottom of the ocean when red chakra exploded around him. It seemed to restart his heart, giving him a jolt. His body was thrown out of the water as it literally exploded outwards. When he crashed on the surface, he was no longer the man that he once was, while no longer the child that he once was. Some time passed as the group got back to the village. Hiruzen blamed Kakashi at first for letting him go on that mission. But he knew what they were doing and yet he sent a team too late. He blamed himself. He lost the only thing that had left for those two, their legacy. He remembered Kushina begging him to look after Naruto and yet he lost him. He felt shame. A distance away, Jiraiya received a message. When he read it, his eyes went wide as he headed to the hidden leaf. It can't be, he thought. As for the remaining members of Team 7, Sasuke was docile. He hadn't said a word since he heard about Naruto's death. He had just been unusually quiet. Sakura had been crying. Naruto was just an idiot, a dope who kept on asking her out. But how? How can he just die like that? Hinata had cried when she found out in her room. Her baby sister tried to soothe her. However, she wouldn't stop crying. Kakashi was at the memorial stone. Another name carved in. Another person that he failed to save. Meanwhile, Maid Terumi and her subordinate Ayo was making the way. As Ayo had felt this spike of chakra, when Mei arrived, a young man was there. He had red hair with 2 blonde spikes coming down his forehead like bangs that framed the side. Ayo was against taking him back, but me, she didn't know what it was. But she brought him back with her. She trusted her instincts. So far they had led them through this battle, surviving against the other forces being Yagura. Bringing him back to the camp was rather easy. When he woke up though, he burst outside. The ninjas around tried to stop him, but he took them on rather easily, and took them out rather easily as well. They didn't stand a chance against him as he ran. Mei chased after him as she begged for him to stop. He looked at her confused. She asked him his name. That was the only thing that he remembered. His name was Naruto. But other than that, he didn't know one single thing about himself, which frightened him. She told him to calm down, but he ended up collapsing. Ayo told her that his body was not used to his chakra. It was trying to get stabilized, but it was hard. For what reason, Ayo did not know. Sometime later, Naruto woke up, still not having his proper memories. He just had flashes. He proceeded to undo the seal that was around him, shocking Mei. But she could tell that he meant her no threat. But she was still on her guard. Still, the seal that was placed on his stomach was literally burned off. How could someone possess such chakra to literally burn away a seal? It made no sense. He apologized for hurting her people, as he didn't know who he was or what is going on, as she took no offense to it. She had a meeting with the top members there, as most of them saw him as an asset. If he could dominate some of their elites like that easily, he could be used. However, Mei didn't see it like that. But he could be useful in the upcoming battle though. But they still had to find out who he was. Kojiro was sent to watch Naruto, as they just wanted to see how he would react. Naruto felt like he had other personalities inside of him. Most times he felt dominant, overpowered. The next he felt calm, subdued. The next he could lose his shit rather easily. And the next he felt just normal. So much conflicting emotions. It was then that he found himself seeing visions. However, he couldn't make them out. But he did remember one thing though. The third Mizukage. But wait, the fourth was these people enemy. Why did he remember the third Mizukage? At Konoha, Danzo Shimura was rather angry. If he had had the child from he was growing up, he wouldn't have been killed that easily. As it was now up to him to gather another Jinchuriki. After all, Hiruzen would not make the difficult choice that was necessary. So yeah guys, it's basically as we left off. You guys can switch chakra, so please check it out for yourself. So to begin this new episode guys, news was like wildfire. Yes, it spread rather quickly, especially in the Shinobi world. Unfortunately for Hiruzen Sarutobi, the news of Naruto's death could not be contained. Once it spread like a fire all over the land. Most importantly, the villagers that dislike him for what he contained, well, they talk. And thus, the information could not be kept secret. Yes, the younger generations found out about it, however, that was not the big problem at the moment. It has been 2 weeks. Right on time, he thought, as Danzo Shimura stepped in his office. Danzo had a hard look on his face as usual. But Hiruzen could see that the man realized the severity of the situation that they're in. Danzo said absolutely nothing as he pulled a chair and sat down right in front of the desk. He looked Hiruzen in the eyes. It was like he wanted Hiruzen to feel guilty. It was like he wanted him to break down. However, he has not been through the previous wars, survived countless of assassination attempts just to be broken down easily. As Danzo finally decided to say something, seeing that the both of them knew what kind of game they were playing at the moment, even though it was no time for games. I assume that you're well aware of what is taking place right now. Hiruzen released a breath as he turned his chair. They say that you should never trust your enemy with your back, however, he still turned as Danzo rose up and stood right beside him, looking through the window of the village. If we don't do something about this village will burn. As harsh as he said it, as dangerous as he said it, Hiruzen knew that he was right. While Naruto was a small child who was not involved in most of the things that was going around in the elemental nation, the thing was, The other nations did not know what he possessed. They didn't know where the Ninetale was located. And the fox was always a deterrent that stopped any other nation from attacking Konoha, but now things were bad. Minato was gone, a man that was able to end an entire platoon within seconds. The beast that was said to topple mountains was now gone as well. Once the beast is reformed, there would be other nations gunning after it to get it under their control. But that was not the problem. 2 weeks, Danzo said. That was all that it took for the information to spread. I have my people working at the moment. However, it has already gone beyond even my control. The other nations see us as weak at the moment. They see us as a joke. It's only a matter of time before they decide to join together to try and lay waste to us. And when the time comes, do you really think that we can repel all of those that stood in front of us? Harrison was silent as Danzo waited for him to make a remark, saying that the land of fire will always prevail, saying that the will of fire will always burn and protect the land all around it. However, when the man turned, what Danzo saw was not what he was expecting. He saw the man's true age, the stress of the job. Tell me, Danzo, what do you expect me to do? He asked. It was no arrogance, no self-loathing he was seriously asking, and Danzo saw that rather clearly. It seems that the boy's death had taken a rather large toll on him, more than expected, and with the recent information leaks spreading like wildfire, knowing what Konoha would face in the future, knowing that these children would probably not grow up in a peaceful environment like he wanted, Hiruzen Sarutobi felt all of the weight on his shoulder. It just magnified. It felt like it was crushing him down to his very being, like he had nothing left to stand on. It has been a very long while since Danzo felt pity on his old friend, but now he felt it. Danzo released a sigh. First of all, we cannot have the other nations believe that we're weak. Despite how the situation is, I've been hearing talks that the other nations, Stone, Kumo, that they want to send more than a couple participants here for the upcoming Chunin exams, which will be held here in a couple of months. You know what they're doing, correct? Of course, Hiruzen said. They're trying to prove that Konoha is not as strong as we believe, by crushing our prospect for our future Chunins. Exactly, said Danzo. And that is what we can't allow to happen at all. If the majority of Konoha ninjas lose in their own village, we are just signing our death over to them. Because the other nations will realize that it seemed to be true that Konoha is lacking the strength that it once has. We need to show them that we can still hold our ground. We've lost so much already. And now, the chance to strike us is more clear than ever. I'm not sure who or when it will happen, but one will make a move. And it will not be pretty if this village goes into a crisis after that. We need to be ready. Hiruzen gave him a look. How so, he said. Well, for one thing, take Team 7 off retainer. I have got the perfect person to join their team. Hiruzen gave him a suspicious glance. This is no time for any grievances between us. I know the both of us never get along that well, but we both want the same thing, the betterment of the village. We can fight later, but for now, the clan heirs, all of these upcoming Genins, we have 6 months. If we're not able to get them up to snuff in 6 months, then we have all failed to groom the future generation for the incoming prospect. And I need you to allow me to do my thing. And exactly what is that? Hiruzen asks. I don't have to explain what it is because you already know. Do you really want me to say it? You know how beneficial me making a move is to Konoha right now. Are you really gonna stand in my way? Hiruzen went quiet for a few seconds. "Do what you have to," he said. It was then that Danzo realized that Hiruzen actually understand the deep shit that they were in because of losing that one child. It wasn't a child per se, but what he contained. The village was at the biggest threat, more than usual. As the man turned in his seat as Danzo sat back down. "First thing first, we need to take the tunings that are on retainers. We need to take the backup tunings and send them out in the field. Allow the genins to remain and have them properly trained. It is all in the showmanship. We need to prove that we are still number one. The slight hesitation, the slight show of weakness will be our downfall. You know how the other Kages think. After all, you are one. And this will be the perfect chance for them to strike. Suspend them from doing missions for a while, until they're up to snuff. And those who cannot cut it, those who have proven to be useless in the field, remove them. No exceptions, no plead, nothing." Danzo's words were harsh. But Hiruzen Sarutobi knew in this very moment, harshness was needed. There was already movement from Kumo and the stone side. The rumors had spread like wildfire after all. And sooner or later they will make a move. Hiruzen did not trust Danzo one bit, however. If it means keeping Konoha safe, he will do what it takes. He's a Hokage and he must think about every single man, child, and woman in this village. And he needs to think about them now. Time skip. It has been 2 weeks. The flashes were still coming to him, but so far, memories, they were just jumbled up in his head. There was no member, a part of Kiri, that could perform mind twisting abilities to somehow find out who he truly was. So for the past 2 weeks it has been relatively the same. Despite Mei being busy, she had made sure to come by to visit. He was still being watched. Despite showing no sign of treason or anything yet, they couldn't be too cautious after all. However, today was a special day. They figured that they could get him muscle memories by having him fight. Remembering last time that he fought, when he was trying to escape, the moves that he used were definitely one of a kind. They were strange. So perhaps it might be able to tell where he was from if they saw how he fight once again. And not to mention, this was a opportunity for them to see how strong he was. After all, they were already thinking about placing him in their ranks to use him. After all, they could use his strength at the moment to help them win this war. It has been going on for too long now. As Naruto walked, the place that they were taking him to was rather far from where he was brought to begin with. Well, judging that they were in a civil war, Mei was able to fill him in on a couple of information that the reason why they were currently hiding at the moment. Yagura, the fourth Mizukage, was a rather terrible tyrant that wanted to eradicate all bloodline users. Mei was one of them. In fact, she possessed dual bloodlines. She was from the Terumi clan. Most of the members of her clan possessed one of each, but she possessed both. She was a strong, confident leader, and she has been leading her people to victory. However, Yagura had the numbers. He had the fortitude. He had the mindset of a dictator to bring down wrath upon them, and not to mention, he was also a Jinchuriki. A perfect one to be exact. Most of the people in Kiri didn't want to do this. Most of them just want the war to be over with. They would not say it, but most of them wanted Yagura to fall. He has slaughtered so much innocent people because he possessed bloodline, and most of them want that to stop. However, they could not stand up against him. Mei just needed a win. She needed a big win to prove that she and her group had the power to protect those that are willing to stand up against him, so they could join their side and gain more support, even from the non-bloodline users. However, Mei had some free time. Although she had some people in the field, and they were not due to report back in for at least a week. And she was also a bit nervous about their mission entailed. So that was one of the main reasons why she was here as well. As both her and Naruto walk, he was dressed in black pants, a cream colored t-shirt, and simple, open-toe sandals. As he calmly walked, there was 2 guards on each of his side, 2 behind him. Sometimes he felt like a prisoner here. They had not treated him as such, but still, he felt like a prisoner. But he said nothing as he calmly walked. The place was dark. He noticed that seals lining the wall. They seemed to be where they train and hone their skills. After all, they wouldn't want to give away their location by fighting all the time and releasing large chakra bursts. So the location was well secured, able to contain the chakra of the fighters, so it would not go out past this area. After all, every nation had their sensory ninjas. As Naruto came to a stop, Kojiro was here as well. Despite being shy, Naruto could tell that he had a strong will, and he was willing to fight and risk his life to make sure that the rebellion win and survive. Well, mostly Mei. He seemed to have a big crush on her, as Naruto noticed that. So you really believe that this muscle member thing would work, said Naruto. As Mei glanced towards him, well, I'm not sure. But that is the whole reason behind trial and error after all. I guess you're right, said Naruto. Who am I gonna be fighting anyway, he asks. Oh, you'll see, she said. As they continued to walk until they arrived, the place was circular and large. There wasn't much people there. However, the ones that were, they look rather old. These must be her council per se. The ones that had sway in their talk. The ones that she went to for talking and counseling regarding the current civil war that they were currently in. All of them were eyeing him. He had not seen most of them yet, but their eyes were stern upon him. It was then that Naruto noticed a person. His hair was similar to Mei's, however it was short, spiking upwards. He had a long line across his cheek that slash came down past his mouth and went towards the other end of his face. His eyes were a steely green. As these similarities between the hair and eyes, Naruto glanced towards me. Are you two perhaps related? Correct as usual, she said. This is Takashi Terume, my cousin, she said. One of our best hand-to-hand fighter. So you're putting me against your best, said Naruto. Is that a problem, she asked. Well, yes. How so, she said. Humiliation, he said. Oh, you don't have to worry. You can't expect that it will be that easy for you. After all, oh, said Naruto, cutting her off. You seem to don't understand what I mean. Not humiliating for me. For your cousin. I mean me just stepping in here and whooping his ass. That wouldn't be too good for his reputation. A small chuckle came from me as she covered her mouth. Your arrogance never ceased to amaze me, she said to him. She's noticed that as time went on. Sometimes he was calm, collected, but sometimes, especially when it came to fighting, he had this arrogance about him. Like he was basically untouchable. She has yet to see this firsthand, other than the time when he fought when he was trying to escape. However, she was curious. That is why she brought Takashi here. Despite the man's strong, dangerous look, he cracked a small smile as he walked over. So you're the guy, huh? He said, looking at Naruto. The guy? Said Naruto. The guy that I'm gonna be beating into the ground today, said Takashi. As Naruto laughed, a rather boisterous laugh, causing the people to look at him. It was then that Kojiro noticed someone. Hey, Kojiro! As the person rushed over, he had whitish blue hair, purple eyes. He was wearing a purple sleeveless shirt with white pants. He had a grin on his face, with a sword strapped to his back. Oh, hey, Sugetsu, said Kojiro. Sugetsu placed the arm on his shoulder and pat him on his shoulder. I heard that you were working with the big leagues, the important people. while I am here, doing the boring jobs. Hey, wanna switch? He asks. No thanks, said Kojo. As Sugetsu frowned. What the hell did you do to give you this position? He asks. Kojiro scratched the back of his head. I don't really know, he said. Sugetsu simply sighed. Hey, that's the guy, huh? The one that everyone been talking about. You heard about him? Of course I had. I've been with Takashi. So I was there when he heard that he was gonna fight this guy. To test how he was. But I mean, isn't this a bit overkill? Takashi's one of the strongest taijutsu user. Not to mention with that bloodline of his. Does this guy really expect to stand up against him? Well, I wouldn't know. Naruto is quite strong. Yeah, he might be strong, but still. Takashi will dominate this battle. You wanna bet? I'm not one for betting, said Kojiro. Come on, stop being a wuss. Kojiro sighed. Sugetsu was always like this. Back over towards Naruto. Well then, are we gonna stand here and talk all day? Or are we gonna get down to it? Huh. Seems like someone really wants to get his ass kicked. Well, let's do this. After all, this is better than jumping into a war. As Naruto noticed that many of the people around here were tense. The situation for them was not good after all. They had to be on constant vigilant, not knowing when Yagura is gonna strike. Meanwhile, Yagura was in his office as someone entered. Sir, we got it. A smile came on the man's face. This was perfect. He was gonna end the rebellion forces, once and for all. They think they could steal from him, going through the trade routes and getting their supplies, past his people. They were going to need this, otherwise they're gonna starve. That is why. He raised his hand. The moment he did so, his elite warriors, all clad in black uniform, with a symbol of Kyrie on it. Their masks, showing no emotion, just eye holes. It's time, he said to them. He was gonna end this rebellion once and for all. Meanwhile, that was going on. Everyone was talking amongst themselves. There was a top podium so the others could stand up on it, making sure that they could watch a fight. The seals prevent anything from hitting them, such as stray jutsus or anything. Down below was Naruto and Takashi. I still say this is a waste of time. I would have been more than efficient enough to test him to see how good he is, with his chakra recently settled down. Yes, he's far above your average Jonin, however, he doesn't look that more special again, said Ayo. Ayo. Shut up, said me. As the man swallowed thickly. What did he do wrong? He was just trying to make an assumption. Down below, Takashi glanced up. Well, they truly want to see what you're made of, especially for putting you against someone like me. And I see that you're eager to start. You're also lost as well, said Takashi. As Naruto looked down. More than you know, he said. Well then maybe this might help clear up some things. After all, if we can see how you fight, maybe, just maybe, we can tell where you're from exactly. Come at me with what you got. No holding back now. I have to determine how fast and strong you are as well. Don't worry, I can take it, said Takashi. You're gonna regret those words, said Naruto, as Takashi merely smirked. Well then, brat, bring it on, he said, as Naruto started to walk forward, until his walk turned into a full-blown run. Here we go, said Sugetsu, as Kojiro looked down there. Takashi ready himself. As he leaned back, a fist passed in his head. He's fast, thought Takashi. He brought up his knee, only for Naruto hand to slap it down. Takashi then used his other leg and lashed out. But Naruto flipped, twisting his body right over the kick. Before he came down, Takashi moved instantly as Naruto's palm struck the ground, cracking it. Takashi flipped in mid-air and landed. In an instant, Naruto was upon him. He seemed to be getting faster, thought Takashi, as the both of them traded blows. Their fists connected to one another, their elbows, their joints, hitting with such ferocity. The people upstairs were shocked. He... he's actually keeping up. Many of them whispered. They heard that he was strong, but this was incredible. Kakashi was one of their strongest fighters. Not in terms of ninjutsu or genjutsu, but in terms of fighting overall, he was immensely powerful. And here he was, being pushed back by this guy. Kakashi lashed out with a feet, only for Naruto to flip and landed on all fours. What's that? One of the people said upstairs. As Naruto started to move, they were confused. It's like he's some kind of animal. The way he was crawling on all fours, even Kakashi raised an eyebrow. However, it was just coming so natural to Naruto, as he shot forward, actually cracking the ground underneath him. In mid-air, he twisted his body. Something felt off though. Tails. Once again the thought came to his mind that his tails were supposed to come down and squash Kakashi, but there was none. So he has to use a substitute. In an instant it happened. Lucky enough, Kakashi was fast enough to react as chains. Golden chains squashed where he was. 9 of them to be exact. Me and the others upstairs gasped. May's mind flashed towards when he first broke her seal, the right here. Now, adamantine chains. Could he really be at Uzumaki, she thought to herself. The thoughts of the others were similar. However, the history between Uzumaki's and Kiri was not a good one. It was not a good one at all. As Naruto landed back on his feet, you seem surprised at Kakashi. Yes, just as surprised as you are. The chains ripped out of the ground and came back behind Naruto. The 9 of them swirled, like they had a mind of their own. As a small grin came on Naruto's face, it seems like we're just getting started. Him and Kakashi moved in. Kakashi was fast enough to dodge all of the chains, twisting and turning his body. However, he was not fast enough to keep up with the chains and Naruto's fists. That is when the first fist collided with his stomach, and another to his upper stomach, the other one right in his chest, and a kick right to his chin. He was picked off the ground, his head being thrown upwards. As Naruto chains came and slapped into his chest, his body was hurled, only for him to poof into a log. He appeared behind Naruto in a flash, his fist coming down to trample him into the ground. However, Naruto spun and caught his fist. 3 chains placed at Kakashi's throat, 2 of them placed at his stomach, the last 4 at his arms and legs. Kakashi smirked. You're fast, but not fast enough. I suggest you move. Once he said that, his body exploded outwards, as Naruto was fast enough to vanish away in pure raw speed, as lava started to hiss on the ground. Kakashi appeared behind Naruto and swung, only for Naruto's body to drop down low. The reaction time is insane, Kakashi thought, as Naruto spun and swept away his leg. Kakashi was dropping as he flashed through hand sign. He slammed his hand down on the ground, Earth style. Earthquake, he said, caused Naruto to lose his balance. As he started to fall, Kakashi saw his opening as he moved into strike. However, Naruto chains pulled him backwards. As both men were face to face, Kakashi flying over his head, which was a big mistake. Kakashi's eyes show agonizing pain, as Naruto's feet came up and slammed right into his stomach, throwing him like a rag doll. He smashed into the wall rather hard. The people upstairs gasped as Naruto pulled himself back up. Kakashi coughed as he pulled himself out of the wall. You're a lot stronger than I expected. Ayo had his Byakugan activated. May-sama, he said, concerned in his voice. What is it, Ayo? His chakra. It's rising. You mean he's gonna perform a technique? No. It's just rising. Where's it coming from? She asked. I don't know, said Ayo. What do you mean you don't know? My Byakugan cannot find the source. It's like his body is producing more and more chakra. It's surpassing the Kage level worth. May gave my alarm. Look. Really? And it keeps on rising as Naruto moves. Takashi had to defend himself now. The battle was getting ferocious. Naruto's fist made contact with the wall. They were shocked when the thing broke apart. Raw brute strength tore the wall apart. Alright, said Takashi, you're pretty advanced in taijutsu. Your style is like none I've ever seen before. You fight as a wild beast, and as fluent as a fast ninja, and as brutal as a front-forward ninja. It's like you're taking those three and mixing them together. It's something I've never seen in my lifetime before. However, what about ninjutsu? Those chains of yours came out once. You were in the midst of the fight. Let's see if you can do the same with ninjutsu, shall we? Takashi flashed your hand sign. Lava release, he said. Lava bullets. He spat lava balls out of his mouth. Naruto's hands came up by themselves as he flashed your hand sign. Earth style. Earth wall as he slammed his hand down. A wall erupted in front of him. The lava balls smashed against and started to burn through, but Naruto jumped back. Takashi appeared in front of Naruto, flashing through another set of hand signs. Earth style, he said. Earth dragon bullet! The ground twisted and rose into a massive earth dragon. Wind style as Naruto flashed your hand sign. Wind dragon bullet! Did he just... The members looked down. Usually, Earth chomp win any time, however. This time, something abnormal happened when the wind bullets came out. They completely shredded the Earth Dragon, like it wasn't even there. How much chakra did he just use for that technique? Ask me. A full Jonin worth. And it's not even bothering him, said Ao. The shock in the man's tone. The members beside Ao heard as well. Are you serious? Said Kojo in shock. This guy was proven to be more and more something every day. Takashi was alarmed. His wind dragon burst through his earth dragon. How was that even possible? How could someone use so much chakra and yet look so undisturbed about it? Even if he was at Uzumaki, why wasn't he even sweating? That was just abnormal. He knew the past about the Uzumakis. They were said to have stronger chakra than any other. However, this was just... Takashi watched as Naruto flashed Yuan sign once again, as Takashi proceeded to do the same thing. As he finished, lava release, he said. Crushing meteors! He slammed his hand down as the earth shot upwards. It broke apart and shot upwards. They got infused with lava as they came raining down towards Naruto. Naruto held up a single hand sign. The fight was really helping him a lot. The techniques were just popping into his head. However, this one felt abnormal. He felt the chakra gathering in his throat. And it was gathering and gathering. He then roared. Everyone had to cover their ears. The deafening sound came out in a colossal wave of pure raw chakra. Takashi's eyes went wide as he crossed his arms. The next thing he knew, his body was thrown. So were his techniques. The entire hall was torn apart. The roar decimated everything. People had to stomp where they were to hold on. Even though they were not the ones placed on the technique, it was still quite devastating. Takashi slammed into the wall roughly as he collapsed. Naruto stopped. As he brought a hand up to his throat felt a bit raw. He made his way. Oh, you're right, he said. Takashi coughed as blood came from his mouth. I've been better, he said. You're one tough son of a bitch, you know that, right? I did warn you, said Naruto. And you still lost. I guess that just makes me better. You're arrogant as well. Takashi, oh, you're right, said Mei. He raised a thumbs up towards her. It was then that someone burst in the room, looking rather frantic. They all turned towards him as Mei walked over. What's going on? Said Naruto. How the hell should I know? Can't you see my position? Several of the medics rushed over as they looked at Naruto with surprise and awe in their eyes as they went to work on Takashi. Damn it! The voice of Mei shouted out. Hey, said Takashi. Give me a hand. As Naruto reached down, but Takashi the medic said, I'll be alright. I won't see what the hell is going on. as Naruto helped him up using his shoulder as a crutch. "What's going on?" said Takashi. "The supply route has been cut off." "Damn it," said Takashi. "Huh?" said Naruto. "The main source of our food. They're trying to starve us out." "I need to go," said Mei. "There's a chance to salvage it. From the report I've gotten back." As Takashi looked at himself, this couldn't come at the worstest time. "But Mei-sama," said Ayo. "You can't, I can't," she said, cutting him off. "Take a huge force with me, in case this is an ambush. In case this is just a run-of-the-mill attack, I need to move immediately. Otherwise, we might lose that supply forever. And we need it," she said. "But if this is an attack," said Ayo, This means I'll fight for my people with my last breath," she said. "I have told these people to put their trust in me and their faith in me. I'm not gonna allow them to starve. I just need a small group to move with me." "Takashi, you're not in a... I'll go," said Naruto. They looked towards him. "What?" "As you all can see, I just defeated one of your best taijutsu expert. While that means he's still not the best regarding ninjutsu and several other subjects, it still means I can hold my own. And if this is an ambush, I'll be a great help on the field." Mei gave him a serious look. "This is a life and death situation. You might die." "Well, you were courteous enough to allow me to stay here, despite the situation that you were in. Not to mention, I got food from you people. So, I better start earning my keep." Mei sighed as she gave him a look. They did not know how serious this was. "You should take him." As she looked towards Takashi, "I mean, look at him. He's barely even winded after that fight. He'll be a great help out there." "Fine," she said, "but you listen to my orders, and don't do anything reckless." "Care about me that much?" he said. "Well, I have made an investment in you. It would be wasteful to see you die so early." "Huh. And just when I thought you were worried about me," said Naruto. "Hey, what's going on?" The voice of Sugetsu says he rushed over. "Something serious has happened, huh?" "Hey, let me go. I can..." "Run along, child," said Naruto. "We don't need you here." "Huh?" "Hey, I'm not some child. I am Sugetsu. You better remember that name because one day you will hear it amongst the legends." "Well, that is a far time to come. However, this is grown-up business. Just because you're a bit older and you can Naruto vanish and appear behind him as he chopped him back the neck. He caught him before he fell. Everyone gave him a deadpan look as he handed him over towards Kojiro. When he wakes up, tell him we didn't have time to waste." Time skip on the battlefield. A woman with light purple hair, she had blue eyes, was crouched down in a stump. There was many others there. There was huge boxes with supplies. She turned toward the center of the group. "They're still out there. Their numbers, they outnumber us. But they still haven't attacked yet. I'm sure that Rogo has got to the village and informed Mei about this already. Inform her that this is an ambush," another one said. "Most likely," the woman in the purple hair said. "Why haven't they attacked yet? They know that they outnumber us and yet they haven't made a move. They're waiting for us to call for reinforcements. However, it's the only way. The camp really need these supplies. We need to stop them here and now." She turned towards the sensor. "Anything else big out there?" she asked. "No. The Mizukage is nowhere to be found. His elite force don't seem to be here either. However, despite these ninjas not being all that powerful, if we're to face them right now, there's no telling if we can keep the supplies safe." "Damn it, you're right," she said. As she glanced upwards, she could not see them because of the mist, but they were there. She was high up in the rebellion forces. She has been gone for some weeks now. She and this group were to stay and wait for the supply line to move in, so they could bring it back. However, the other side seemed to find out about this, and know they got them pinned down. They were surrounded and yet they were not attacking them. It was like they were waiting for something. She knew that they couldn't wait much longer, otherwise it might draw the wrong people that they didn't want, like the Mizukage and his elite force. If they were to come here, they would stand no chance. And the camp would suffer. And she couldn't allow this to happen. She needed to make sure her people was alright. Ayato-sama, the sensei looked towards her. I can sense them. They're coming from our side. Ayato got a smile on her face. Until she asked, is she with them? Yes. I can feel her chakra as well. Knowing me, she would not send out a huge camp team. Otherwise, if this was an ambush, she wouldn't allow her people to be slaughtered. She would come here herself. That is one of the main reasons why Ayato looked up to her as a leader and as a respectable woman to make the tough decisions. What's this? The censor said, confused. What's wrong? Ayato asked. There's someone with me, Sama. Someone really powerful. Is it Takashi? No. I've never sensed this chakra before. Why does it feel so abnormal? Ayato was confused, as she wondered who was this person. Over on the other side, they had a sensor on their group as well, who had his legs folded, his eyes closed. They're coming, he said. Right on schedule. Send the signal now. The ninja turned to his left as he went through hands and slammed his hand down. A pulse went through the earth, a long distance away. Another sensor was holding on to the earth, his eyes closed. Sir, they're coming. Good. Move out, the voice of Yagura said, as the ninjas scatter. Meanwhile, as Ayo had his beacon activated, we're almost there. They're right up there, said Naruto. Ayo, Mei, Naruto, and 3 other of their elites were with them. How do you... As Ayo looked towards Naruto, I can sense them. From this distance, said Mei. Yeah, said Naruto. So you're a sensor as well, she said. It would seem so, said Naruto as they move. They're not alone. They're surrounded. They seem to be rather weak though. However, it's a lot of them. But they're not attacking. They're not, said Mei. No, they're just watching. I can see them, said Ayo. They're just watching them. Something is wrong, said Mei, as they move, increasing their speed. Back with the team that Ayato was leading. Ayato-sama, the censor looked worried. He's coming. Ayato looked towards him, that shocked look on her face. Don't tell me. As he nodded. Shit, she said. Quick, you 4, take the supplies and move. But what will... I'll stay here and hold them off. That is suicide, the censor said. Someone has to do it. Now take the supplies and go. But now, she yelled. They picked themselves up as they start to move. The censor fumbling for a moment. However, he started to move as well. As Ayato picked herself out of the hole and made her way, she saw the rest of the forces getting up. It's been an honor to serve you, Mei-sama, she said, as she rushed forward and engaged with battle. Back with Naruto and the others. After some time, the troops rushed by them. They came to a stop. Mei-sama, as they were holding the supplies. Mei looked at them as she counted the numbers. Wait, where's Ayato, she said. A sorry look came on the man's face. Someone had to stay behind. She ordered us to... Damn it, said Mei as she rushed forward. Mei-sama, said Ayo, as he went after her, the other 3 moving off. You 3 go back, said Naruto. We'll handle this. Who are you? The censor said. A friend, said Naruto as he vanished away. As Naruto was moving, he could sense the woman up ahead fighting several others, and she was losing. However, they won't reach her in time. So he came to a stop. He will though. He pushed his chakra down to his legs. They seemed to open up another section of points in his legs. The literal ground started to break under the force. He then moved. All Mei and Ayo and the other 3 saw was a red blur shooting past them. Their eyes went wide. As for Ayato, she was slashed right across the chest. The wound was not deep enough to kill her, but she was bleeding. She was panting. She had taken down 3 of them, but there was still so much more. She held on to a blade in her hand. She was gonna die here. They all surrounded her as they brought their weapons down. Forgive me, Mei, she said. As she closed her eyes, she couldn't win this one. However, she heard a noise but she felt no pain. Once she opened her eyes, she saw a red flash. All of the enemies that surrounded her was thrown away. Rather violently, their bodies impacting with a part of the pavement. It was then that someone grabbed her shoulders as her eyes opened wide. Her blue eyes looking back into reddish eyes. Ayato was shocked. Who are you? She said. He merely smiled at her. A friend, he said. Can you walk? He asked. He hadn't killed the others, he had just knocked them away as he started to get back up. It doesn't seem that way as he created a clone. Its hand forming. The information was just running through his mind. The clone swept her up in a bridal carry. She was still just shocked at the information as the clone took off. I suggest you guys go back home, otherwise it's gonna get really nasty. You might have caught us off guard right there. However, we still outnumber you, and will take you down. There is no need, a voice said. He's not the one I want to take down. It was then that they flashed onto the scene. Mei arrived just in time along with Ao. Naruto, your clone is... Mei paused. Shit. Ao was right. They had no time to leave now. Her and Ao and the three elites all stood there in shock. The mist started to clear away to show the man himself holding his hook staff. Around him was 10 of his elite warriors, those that always stood by his side. He was rather short, and also he looked rather young. A smile came on his face, but not a happy one. Ah, Mei, he said. I knew that you would come yourself. After all, you would never leave your people to suffer if you have something to say about it. Also, you were too afraid of the possibility of this being an ambush to send your people knowing that they would die, while you could survive if it was something that you could handle and they could not. And you played your cards perfectly right into the palm of my hands. Yagura, you bastard. Yes, a bastard I might be, but after today, I'll be a happy bastard. I'll get rid of you and I will crumble the remaining allied forces. Once the rebellion realizes that you're dead, it will crumble their morale. All of you today are going to die. Maybe I shouldn't even kill you, I should capture you and prove to them what will happen when you stand against me. I will make sure to show them a wonderful show to further break them. So this is a guy, huh? All of their attention turned towards Naruto. And who are you? You don't seem like a familiar face. Well, I'm new. The name is Naruto. Naruto, huh? So you're one of those bloodline freaks, huh? Bloodline freaks? Hey, what do you have against bloodline, Naruto asks. None of your business. However, seeing that you're with them, it means that your life is set already to die. You know, for someone who people supposed to fear, you're rather unintimidating. I mean, you're short. You look like a kid. And not to mention you look weak. As Yagura eyebrow twitch at that. I won't get angry by your comments. Because it doesn't matter, at the end of the day, you're gonna be lying here dead. But I'll make sure to make you suffer as well. Guards, restrain him. As two of them move, Naruto was much ahead of me and the other group, so she couldn't reach in time as the guards flashed beside Naruto. Their hands already lashed out to grab onto him. As Naruto ducked down low, he tried to sweep their legs but they jumped up. As the both of them brought their body down in a quick motion to subdue him. However, two chains erupted from Naruto's back and grabbed their waists. Before it slammed them together, it then proceeded to hit them in the ground. Their bodies creating two sizable craters, destroying the earth. The chains receded back into Naruto. However, one of them was not unconscious. As he pulled a small Tonto blade, he was so close that it would have pierced right through Naruto's stomach. However, Naruto, watch out, said Mei. Muscle memory kicked in as a ball. A swirling blue ball of chakra appeared in his palm. He used that ball to destroy the weapon as it tore into the guard's stomach. The man screamed out as the technique tore through his stomach, blowing a hole clean through him, destroying the ground. The group was shocked when they saw that technique. That jutsu. Isn't that the Rasengan? Who the hell are you? Said Yagura. If I knew I would tell you, said Naruto. I'm guessing that you won't allow us to leave here alive. You just put down two of my men. What do you expect? I'm not gonna kill you because you've been able to do something that I've never seen anyone except a rare few do before. And I want to know why. Mei and Ao was shocked. The Rasengan? But that technique only belonged to the 4th Hokage. Chakra chains. Unnatural chakra. Part Uzumaki. Rasengan. So much things were there that Mei just didn't know about him. Just who was he? I'm sorry to inform you, but you're the one that is not gonna leave here alive. You see, these people behind me have been rather gracious. Yes, they've watched me to make sure. To show my allegiance, which side I'm on. However, today I'm gonna prove that. By stomping out what has been holding them at gunpoint for the longest time now. And that would be you. You think you can take me down, said Yagura. You pathetic boy. It seems you have no idea who I truly am, do you? I'll crush you under my heel. And that's where you have it wrong, said Naruto. I'll be the one that will be doing the crushing today. And I'm coming straight after you. Naruto moved as thrown crack. Yagura clashed with his hook staff as Naruto knocked him away from his men. They turned to go against him. However, Mei, Ao, and the 3 elites flashed in front of them, causing chaos to ensue. As Naruto threw Yagura straight outwards, the man crashed as he used his hook staff to stop himself. You damn insignificant brat. You want to fight? Fine. I'll put you in your goddamn place. Naruto extended his arms. As the 9 chains came from his back, I'd like to see you try. Chakra exploded out of Yagura as he stabbed his staff in the ground and slammed both of his hands together. I'll kill you where you stand. Meanwhile at Konoha, all of the genins were gathered up. From this year, something big was taking place. They were all told together at the auditorium at the academy, but they weren't sure what exactly was happening. That is when the door opened up, as a Hokage stepped in, followed by a man in bandages. As Danzo Shamir had a smile on his face. Finally, Harrison was taking his suggestions. Meanwhile, Jury of the Sun had just returned back to the village. He was a far distance away. It was rather surprising that it only took 2 weeks to arrive. But in those 2 weeks his mind has been going through a lot. About him being a complete failure after all. He was unable to do the one thing that he was supposed to do. Be a good godfather. As he made his way, he didn't look happy. For one thing, he wasn't even thinking about peeping on the girls in the hot spring. Meanwhile, at the academy, Harrison cleared his throats. I'm sure you're all wondering why you have been called here. Many of them had the same thought in their mind. Things will be changing up for the foreseeable future. You will be given 4 months. In these 4 months, you will be given special training, all of you. All of the future ninjas of Konoha, to see if you can cut it or not. If you cannot, you will be sent back to the academy to restart the program over once again. What? Many of them said in shock. Times are changing, Harrison said. The Jonin senses all emerged on top balcony. And things are changing as well. So, I'm afraid if you can't cut it by 4 months, you will be put back in the academy. And you'll have to wait an extra 2 years before you'll be taken out to be placed under a Jonin Sensei once again, because the entire academic curriculum is changing. Sakura and Ino and several others started to panic. The news about Naruto's death came with some surprise. They now understood why most of the adults always gave Naruto nasty looks, because he was the holder of the Kyuubi. And because of that, well, people didn't like him that much, but he wasn't a fox, so that didn't make sense to them. However, it turns out that the Kyuubi was really necessary for Konoha's strength, and now that it was gone, well, things were getting hard. Judging by this, she looked up towards Kakashi. His eyes were facing down towards the Hokage. She turned her gaze towards Sasuke. She hadn't seen him much lately because Team 7 was put in retainer as backup and support group. However, they haven't backup and support anyone yet. She had 4 months to get stronger, otherwise she would be cut from the program. Sakura started to panic. This was bad. Really, really bad. Meanwhile, at the Hidden Stone, Oniki couldn't be any happier. He hated the leaf with a passion because of one man, and that was a fourth Hokage. And now, with that man gone, the Kyuubi gone, Konoha was weaker than before. The Stone and Kumo wanted to prove that their villages were at the top hierarchy. In doing so, they had to show that to all of the daimyos by crushing Konoha in the upcoming Chunin exams. However, there was other work at play here. Mad chuckling could be heard in an unknown location as a man sat by himself, a big wide smile on his face. This man was none other than the Snake Sanin. He was incredibly happy. Things were playing well in his favor. People were starting to doubt the strength of the Hidden Leaf. Soon enough, he would be able to convince the other nations to join his plight on bringing that village down. He already had talks with the Kazekage. Things were going wonderfully, he thought to himself, as he licked his lips happily. He promised his sensei all those years ago that he would return, and once he does, he would burn Konoha down to the ground. And that is exactly what he intended to do. But guys, to be subscribe right here. If you want to see next parts, then do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. But I'm also now, see you guys soon. Peace.